This is the business. This is the business. This is to manufacture overseas or not? The number one question on every product-based business owner's mind, and for good reason. Manufacturing overseas is a total game changer. It can lower your profit margins, enabling more growth for your business. It can streamline your production schedule. It can give you so much insight into the global economy, but it definitely comes with its own risk factors too, and there are a lot of things to consider. In addition to staying on top of policy change and being aware of the political climate, here are 7 things that you might also want to think about. What's your order quantity? This is the biggest deciding factor for most businesses. Can you sell and can you afford to produce more than 1,000 units of a single product? Very few overseas manufacturers will produce less than 1,000 units. Plus, it's not very cost efficient for you to manufacture and then ship in less than 1,000 units of a single product. Also consider that the more units you produce, the less your cost per unit. What type of product are you producing? Does it involve multiple materials or processes? Complex products get expensive, making it more cost efficient to produce overseas. So take a look at your products. Do they require gold foil stamping or multiple paper stocks? Does it need to be die cut, like a tab on a planner or a sticker? Do you need to color match the fabric to something? Or does it involve lots of different aspects, like a cover and then a bookmark and then an inside page? These are all indicators that your product is complex and it's way more cost efficient to produce it overseas. Is this in line with your customer values? This is a biggie. Do your clients value products produced in the United States? Pretty much everyone does, but how much do they value it? And if they ask you why you're producing overseas, can you justify the reason to them and tell them why you're making that decision? If your customers don't mind buying a product that was produced overseas, that's great, but take a minute and make sure that you're working with a reputable manufacturer. Take a look at their other clients if they're willing to share. Ask them about their certifications if they have any. Hopefully they do. Take a look at their employees. Do they treat them well? Do they offer vacation time? Do they practice safe manufacturing techniques and use safe materials? What's the scalability of your product? Is there an opportunity for growth here, or is this a one-time order? Manufacturing overseas is definitely cost effective, but it also involves a lot of time and money up front to build a relationship with your manufacturer, to manage import fees and manage custom checks and scheduling. You want to make sure that this is a long-term solution that you're willing to invest in. Do you have a production team that can manage schedules and shipping? This goes in line with my previous point. Producing a product overseas is complicated. So, do you have a production team, or do you have enough time to manage a production schedule, to process documents, import documents as they come in, track your shipment through the ocean or through the air as it comes to you, to deal with customs fees or customs checks, and then finally to hire a freight forwarder to bring the freight and the shipment from the dock or from the airport to a shipping warehouse or to your store? Make sure that you have the time and the margin to be able to research and execute this properly so nothing gets lost along the way. Do you work with a designer or a production team who is familiar with product specs? And do you have time for sampling? Similarly, communicating with a manufacturer can be really complicated. Plus, sometimes you're dealing with a language gap and there's a ton of technical jargon that you want to be familiar with. So, are you familiar with, or do you have someone that's familiar with some of that technical jargon and can write and review spec sheets? Plus, do you have the time and the skill that's needed to request, review, and critique product samples that come in? Do you work far ahead enough to account for delays? There are always unknown delays that occur in manufacturing, overseas or not. There might be a material shortage, or there might be an error in proofing, or something might get stuck in a customs check. All of these things happen. It's just part of the process. But make sure that your workflow enables you to work 6 to 12 months in advance. Does all of this sound like a lot of stuff to consider? It is. It's a big step. But even if you're not ready to manufacture overseas yet, this is still a great stepping stone. I hope that even just knowing some of these questions that you need to ask yourself might help you do a quick audit of your efficiencies and your workflow, your revenue goals, even your team structure, to make sure that you have the people in place who can do things that you need them to do. Even if you're not ready yet, you have the tools to be ready in the future if this is something that you want to do. So I hope this is really helpful. I'll see you next time. P.S. If you want a quick printable of all the questions that I posed in this video, just so you can start checking things off the list or have something right in front of you to reference in the future, check out the link in the description below. I'm going to drop in something for you to just click and download a sheet that'll make it really easy for you to just have right in front of you. So I hope that's really helpful. I'll see you later.